Growing older doesn't automatically make a person more emotionally mature. Age brings experience, but maturity comes from what we do with that experience. It's possible to spend decades on this earth and still react to life with the same anger, defensiveness, and impulsiveness we had years earlier. Emotional maturity begins when we stop allowing every emotion to make our decisions for us. This doesn't mean becoming cold or hiding how we feel. Emotions are important. Anger can tell us something is wrong. Sadness can remind us that something matters. Fear can warn us to pay attention. The problem comes when we treat every emotion as a command. Feeling angry doesn't mean we need to attack. Feeling hurt doesn't mean we need to hurt someone else. And feeling disappointed doesn't mean we're entitled to blame everyone around us. There is a difference between feeling an emotion and becoming controlled by it. Emotionally mature people understand that difference. One of the clearest signs of emotional maturity is the ability to pause. Something happens, an emotion rises, and instead of immediately reacting, the person creates space between the event and their response. That pause may only last a few seconds, but it can prevent an argument, a damaged relationship, or a decision that cannot be taken back. This is especially important because emotions can distort perspective. When someone's angry, everything can feel like an attack. When someone is afraid, every possibility can look like a threat. When someone feels rejected, they may interpret neutral behavior as proof that they're unwanted. A mature response does not ignore those feelings. It questions them. Is this really what happened? Or is this how I feel about what happened? That distinction can change a person's life. Emotional maturity also means taking responsibility. It's easy to explain why we reacted badly. Someone pushed our buttons. We were tired. We were stressed. They deserved it. There may be truth in some of those explanations, but they don't remove responsibility for our behavior. A mature person can say, "I was wrong." They can apologize without adding an excuse. They can accept feedback without immediately becoming defensive. They can also admit that they contributed to a problem even when the other person did too. This is not weakness, it's strength. Another part of emotional maturity is learning that not every battle deserves your energy. Some arguments are not worth winning. Some people will misunderstand you no matter how carefully you explain yourself. Some situations cannot be changed. Maturity means knowing when to speak, when to listen, and when to walk away. It also means accepting that other people are responsible for their own emotions. You can care about someone without trying to control how they feel. You can support someone without fixing everything for them. And you can set boundaries without feeling guilty for protecting your own well-being. Perhaps most importantly, emotional maturity means becoming comfortable with yourself. A mature person does not need constant approval to feel secure. They can handle criticism without falling apart and receive praise without needing more of it to feel valuable. They understand that confidence does not come from always being right. It comes from knowing that you can handle being wrong, learn from it, and keep growing. None of this means becoming perfectly calm or never making mistakes. Emotional maturity is not perfection, it's progress. You will still become frustrated. You will still say the wrong thing. You will still have moments when your emotions get the better of you. The difference is what happens afterward. Do you blame or do you reflect? Do you defend or do you learn? Do you repeat the pattern or do you change it? Emotional maturity is built through those choices. Life will continue to test us through difficult people, unexpected problems, disappointment, and loss. We can't control every situation, but we can become better at handling what comes our way. Growing older is automatic. Growing wiser is a choice. And sometimes emotional maturity is simply the quiet decision to stop asking, "How do I feel right now?" and begin asking, "What is the best response?" Personal accountability. It's one of the most important qualities a person can develop, yet it's also one of the least visible. Unlike talent or achievement, accountability often happens quietly. It's found in the private choices people make each day, especially when there is no outside pressure forcing them to stay disciplined. Many people rely heavily on motivation to make progress. They feel energized when starting something new, whether it's a fitness goal, a work project, or a personal habit. In the beginning, effort feels exciting. However, motivation is temporary. Eventually, the excitement fades and the process becomes repetitive or difficult. This is usually the point where consistency begins to break down. Self-accountability becomes important when motivation disappears. At its core, self-accountability is the ability to hold yourself responsible for your actions and habits and standards without depending on recognition from others. It's the willingness to continue doing what needs to be done even when nobody is paying attention. This requires discipline because many meaningful results take time to appear. The effort often happens long before any reward becomes visible. You can find this in many areas of life. In fitness, for example, progress is built through repeated workouts, proper recovery, and consistency over long periods of time. Most of those efforts happen privately. Nobody sees the early mornings, the days when energy is low, or the moments when a person chooses discipline instead of comfort. The same is true in work and personal development. Skill is developed through repetition, preparation, and persistence, much of which goes unnoticed by others. The challenge is that people naturally look for immediate results and external validation. When progress feels slow or invisible, it becomes easier to skip responsibilities, make excuses, or lower personal standards. Small compromises begin to appear. A missed workout becomes several missed workouts. Delaying responsibilities becomes a habit. Promises made to oneself are ignored because there are no immediate consequences. This affects more than results. It affects identity. A person who repeatedly avoids responsibility begins to lose trust in themselves. Goals feel less believable because actions no longer match intentions. Frustration grows because the desire for change exists, but the behavior required to create that change remains inconsistent. Self-accountability helps close this gap between intention and action. An important part of accountability is honesty. Many people are comfortable evaluating external situations, but uncomfortable examining their own behavior. It's easier to blame circumstances, stress, or lack of opportunity than to ask difficult questions about personal effort and consistency. However, growth requires self-reflection. A person must be willing to recognize where excuses are being used, where habits are weak, and where discipline is lacking. This process is not about harsh self-criticism. It's about awareness and responsibility. Accountability allows a person to recognize that while not every circumstance can be controlled, personal choices still matter. Consistent choices eventually shape character. Self-accountability also applies to emotional behavior. Discipline is not limited to physical habits or productivity. It includes how a person responds under pressure, manages frustration, and handles responsibility in relationships or work environments. Choosing patience instead of reacting emotionally, following through on commitments, and remaining dependable. These are all forms of accountability. One of the most difficult aspects of self-accountability is that much of the work is done without recognition. There is no audience for many of the decisions that matter most. The effort often feels repetitive and unnoticed. Yet these quiet moments are where character is developed. Repeated discipline creates trust within oneself. A person begins to rely less on motivation and more on standards. The focus shifts from feeling inspired to simply following through consistently. In the end, self-accountability is less about perfection and more about integrity. It's the ability to stay committed to personal standards regardless of who's watching. While public success often receives attention, the foundation for that success is almost always built privately through consistent actions repeated long before anyone else notices the results. Today, almost everything can be done faster. Need an answer? Search it. Need a workout plan? Download one. Need motivation? Watch a short video and feel fired up for a few minutes. Speed is everywhere. But if everything is getting easier and faster, why do so many people still feel stuck? Because growth doesn't come from shortcuts. Growth comes from discipline. This is where the real comparison begins. On one side, there's a shortcut mindset. On the other, there's the discipline mindset. Both exist in the same world, but they lead to very different lives. The shortcut mindset says, what's the fastest way? The discipline mindset asks, what's the right way? Think about athletes for a moment. A player might look for quick results, skip practice details, avoid extra reps, or only train when they feel motivated. It works for a little while, but eventually something happens. Pressure shows up. A big game, a tough opponent, a moment that demands more than just talent. And that's where the difference becomes obvious. The athlete who relied on shortcuts starts to struggle. The one who chose discipline stands steady. Now let's bring this into everyday life, because this isn't just about sports. A student crams the night before a test versus the student who studies a little each day. The employee reacts emotionally in a stressful meeting versus the one who practiced staying calm under pressure. Someone who wants to get in shape waits for motivation versus the person who trains even when they don't feel like it. These are all small choices, but they reveal something important. They reveal character, and sometimes they reveal the lack of it. That might sound firm, but it's the truth many people need to hear. Character isn't built when things are easy. Character is built in preparation, long before the moment that tests you. Here's the mistake people make today. They think progress is supposed to feel exciting all the time, but real growth is quiet, repetitive, and boring. Doing the extra workout, practicing patience when you're frustrated, preparing when no one's watching. It doesn't always feel rewarding in the moment, but over time you build something powerful. You build trust in yourself. When you've prepared properly, you walk into situations differently. You're calmer, you're more confident, you don't panic as easily because you've already done the work. And that's something shortcuts can never give you. Shortcuts give you temporary results. Discipline gives you lasting strength. Another way to look at it is like this. Shortcuts focus on outcomes, while discipline focus on preparation. One tries to skip steps, the other respects the process. In today's world, preparation is becoming rare. Everyone wants results, but fewer people are willing to prepare deeply for them. That's actually an opportunity, because if you choose discipline, you instantly separate yourself from the crowd, not by being louder or more talented, but by being more prepared. Real growth happens when you decide that preparation matters more than convenience. It happens when you stop asking, what's the easiest way, and start asking, what kind of person do I want to become? At the end of the day, this isn't just about success, it's about identity. Are you someone who waits until things get serious, or are you someone who prepares before they have to? One builds pressure, the other builds confidence. The future belongs to people who prepare while others delay. So start building habits that make you stronger before life tests you. Train your mindset, practice staying calm. Do the extra work when it's not required. Because when the real moment arrives, you won't be hoping you're ready. You'll know you are. We're in the most connected time in history, yet loneliness has quietly become one of the most common human experiences. Messages are sent and received instantly. Faces are always within reach on screens. Updates, photos, and opinions move faster than ever. And still, many people feel unseen, unheard, and deeply alone. This is the loneliness paradox. We're surrounded by connection, yet starved for closeness. Loneliness today doesn't always look like isolation. Often it exists in full rooms, busy workplaces, active group chats, and long contact lists. It shows up as the feeling that no one truly knows you, that conversations stay on the surface, that you're present but not fully understood. This kind of loneliness can be harder to name because on paper, life appears full. One reason this paradox exists is that connection has become efficient, but not always meaningful. It's easier than ever to communicate, but harder to be vulnerable. Many interactions are built around performance, sharing highlights, staying agreeable, or appearing fine. Over time, people learn to edit themselves. They share what's acceptable, but not what is true. The result is connection without depth. Loneliness also grows when people feel pressure to handle everything alone. Independence is often praised, but emotional self-sufficiency can quietly turn into emotional isolation. Many people carry stress, doubt, grief, or uncertainty without expressing it, believing they should be able to manage on their own. But did you know that humans were never meant to do life entirely solo? Strength has always included the ability to be supported. Another layer of the paradox is comparison. Constant exposure to curated lives can create the illusion that everyone else is more connected, more fulfilled, more understood. When people compare their internal experience to others' external presentations, loneliness deepens. It becomes easier to believe that something is wrong with you, rather than recognizing that many others feel the same quiet disconnect. Yet loneliness is not a personal flaw, it's a signal. Like hunger or fatigue, it points to a need, the need for real connection, the need to be seen as you are, not as you perform, the need for spaces where honesty is safe and presence is mutual. Loneliness does not mean you lack people, it often means you lack resonance. Resolving the loneliness paradox doesn't require more social activity. It requires a different kind of connection. Fewer conversations where everyone stays guarded. More moments where someone speaks honestly, listens fully, or allows silence without discomfort. Depth matters more than volume. This begins internally. Many people feel lonely because they've learned to disconnect from themselves. They ignore their own emotions, minimize their needs, or rush past discomfort. Reconnecting with others often starts with self-connection, acknowledging what you feel, what you need, what matters to you. When you're honest with yourself, it becomes easier to be honest with others. Loneliness also softens when expectations change. No single person or group can meet every emotional need. Community is built over time through consistency and shared experience. Small moments of genuine connection, a meaningful conversation, a shared struggle, a quiet understanding, they all accumulate. They matter more than dramatic gestures. When experiencing loneliness, it's important to know that you're responding to a world that often moves fast and connects superficially. Wanting depth is not a weakness, it's a sign of emotional awareness. The loneliness paradox will not be solved by more noise. It's eased by presence, by honesty, by choosing depth over distraction, even when it feels vulnerable. In doing so, connections slowly become real again, not louder, but truer. Sometimes stepping away isn't a sign that you've quit. It's a sign that you finally listened to what your mind and body were trying to tell you. And that's why I'm here today, because I needed that break too. It's been a while, and before I get into anything else, I want to say thank you. Thank you for staying connected. Thank you for being patient. And thank you for being a part of this community. I took a break, not because I stopped caring, not because my fire went out, but because sometimes life whispers to you, slow down, breathe, and reset. And if you ignore that whisper long enough, it becomes a shout. For me, the past few months were a reminder that even coaches, leaders, parents, athletes, all of us, we're all human. We push, we grind, we give so much of ourselves to the world that we forget the simple truth. Rest is not the enemy of progress. Rest fuels it. Taking a break doesn't mean you failed. Doesn't mean you're lazy. It doesn't mean you've lost your passion. Sometimes a break is exactly what you need so you can come back with clarity, energy, and purpose. During my time away, I looked at my life, my routines, my goals. I asked myself some hard questions. I sat with the parts of me that were tired, and I realized something. The break didn't weaken me. It strengthened me. It reminded me why I started this journey in the first place. And I know many of you have been there too. Maybe you've had to take a break. Maybe you stepped back from your dreams for just a little while. Maybe life got loud. Maybe you got hurt or overwhelmed or stretched too thin. But here's the message I want you to hear today. You're allowed to pause. You're allowed to regroup, and you're allowed to return stronger than before. Breaks are not the end of the story. They're a chapter where you gather the strength to turn the page. And now I'm back. Not to be perfect, not to pretend everything is always smooth or easy, but to keep showing up with honesty, with heart, and with a message that hopefully meets you where you're at. Because that's what this channel is about. Growth, mindset, perspective, learning to navigate the ups and downs of life with courage and resilience. And if I'm going to talk about those things, I have to live them too. So if you've taken a break, if you're in that space right now, if you're wondering when your spark will come back, listen to me. It will. And when it does, you won't be starting over. You'll be starting from experience, from clarity, from strength you didn't even know you were building. So here's my promise. I'm back, and I'm committed to bringing you content that lifts you, challenges you, and reminds you of who you can become. If there's something you stepped away from, something you want to restart, something you know is still in your heart, take one step, just one. Your comeback can begin right now. Thanks for being here. Let's get moving again, together.